Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today's video is going to be a continuation on the rattlesnake series I've done, going over pygmy rattlesnakes, and now we're going to go over the genus Crotalus, the black Pakistan cobra. Why do I have this with me when I'm talking about a viper? Well, I don't have a rattlesnake with me to use for this video, so he's going to have to do. Anyways, if you're new here, I post videos on venomous snakes. If that's something you enjoy, please subscribe. Now, in the previous videos I did, one just on rattlesnakes, so talking about Crotalus and the genus Sistrurus together. Then the next one I did was on just Sistrurus, which is the pygmy rattlesnakes. And if you haven't watched those, I'll link those in the description. And this one, we're going to go over the genus Crotalus, which are the rattlesnakes. And instead of trying to edit, that's what takes me the longest amount of time. I'm just going to talk about them right now without editing. So hopefully I don't forget, or hopefully I mention what I want to say. And if I forget things, oh well. I feel like it's been long enough and I still haven't got this video recorded, so we're going to just do it like this. Anyways, Crotalus, the rattlesnakes. And we've talked why the pygmy rattlesnakes are separated into a separate genus. DNA analysis, also visible differences like the scalation, the 9 large head scales on the pygmy rattlesnakes, whereas rattlesnakes in the genus Crotalus have many small scales on the top of their head. But now we talk about the true legends in Crotalus. These are icons. Again, these are in the Americas. So from Canada down to Argentina. And they vary in size. So things like the Mexican small-headed rattlesnake, I believe, or the twin-spotted rattlesnake, these tinier rattlesnakes compared to eastern diamondback rattlesnakes, which are the largest rattlesnakes on earth, up to 8 feet long. So you can see they vary in size. So some other notably large species of rattlesnake that some of you may have never heard of, that I feel like compete with the eastern diamondback, are the Mexican West Coast rattlesnakes. They get massive as well. Now in Crotalus there's around 30 to 40 species. I say 30 to 40 because we've mentioned many times about subspecies and subspecies being elevated to species status, and that's happened many times in Crotalus, so I don't know the exact number due to that. But rattlesnakes get that name, of course, because of the rattle on the tip of their tail. We've went over this many times, but we're going to talk about it again. The rattle, made of keratin. Same thing as fingernails, hairs, scales, modified scales, made of keratin. And they are hollow, interlocked segments. Nothing inside of them. And when they vibrate their tail at speeds super fast, one of the top contracting muscles in the animal kingdom, that's what makes the sound, them bouncing off each other. But some myths we've discussed. Each time the rattlesnake sheds their skin, they gain a new segment. So counting the number of segments does not tell their age. When they get long, they break off easily as they're moving through the environment. But we're going to talk about something a little different. There are rattlesnakes that lack rattles. How does that make sense? Now there's island populations now of rattlesnakes that no longer have the need for rattle. The rattle's purpose is defensive. So either to warn predators or to alert big hoofed animals where they are so they don't get stepped on. Now these island populations no longer have big hoofed animals to worry about, so they no longer need that rattle. Now it just looks like a little nub. So there's a Santa Catalina Island rattlesnake, which no longer has a rattle. There's another species of island rattlesnake, I can't remember the name, but they also typically don't have a rattle. And there are other reasons why a rattlesnake may not have a rattle in other species due to mutations. Now, their diet consists of a variety of different things: mammals, birds, lizards, amphibians, lots of different things. They're predators as well: coyotes, bobcats, birds of prey, other bird species. And now the venom. Many of them are hemotoxic, some of them are neurotoxic, and lots of snakes, due to venom being complex, have different mixtures. Now, the thing about venom, one of the most studied venoms are those of southern Pacific rattlesnakes. Now, there are some that are found on the desert floor, some that are found in rockier areas, a little higher up. Same species, just a little bit further away, different environment. Well, those in the desert floor have the hemotoxic venom because they can bite their prey, release, and then track it down when it passes away. But those in the rocky outcrops cannot afford for the prey to run into the rock crevices and get away. So they have neurotoxic venom, a lot quicker acting, but they also, the ones that do still have blood acting venom, affects it in a different way. That's so amazing how venom evolves due to environmental situations, the prey they're targeting. So that's just one of the most studied ones, is the southern Pacific rattlesnake. And lots of snakes too. Baby snakes will sometimes target different species. So some baby snakes eat amphibians, let's say. Their venom at that point may be amphibian specific, but when they get older and take their mammal prey, their venom composition changes, and there's a change in that venom. It's just so amazing. Really complex stuff. I don't understand a lot of it. It's just, there's so much variation, and on even little things, like I said, about location. Now, we've talked about rattlesnake roundups. We're going to bring it up again. Western diamondback rattlesnake is the main one in these roundups. Now, this is an event that goes on in the United States. It's labeled as family fun. They collect thousands of rattlesnakes, Western diamondbacks. They hold this event where kids, it's labeled family fun. Kids can come, watch all the rattlesnakes getting slaughtered, and they can even bathe their hand in blood and put handprints on the wall. It's torture, animal abuse. They'll sew the mouths shut of these animals so people can hold them. It's a disgusting thing, and to think about how we in the United States throw massive fits, sign all these petitions to stop animal abuse in other countries, yet we're slaughtering one of our icons. It's allowed to go on. It's ridiculous. I don't care what you think about snakes. You can't say that kids bathing their hand in blood and putting handprints on the wall and taking part in slaughtering these animals is normal behavior. And if you watch that footage of those events, look at all the rattlesnakes. They're all huddled in the corner, showing fear. And not to mention some of the ways that they collect these rattlesnakes, using gas and burrows to get them to come out. That harms the environment. The gas harms the environment, also destroys that den site, which is home to other mammals, tortoises, lots of different species of animals, and they're destroying that habitat to collect these snakes. Yeah, disgusting behavior, ridiculous, crazy to think it goes on still to this day. Rattlesnake roundups, southern states like Texas, still goes on. Yeah. Some rattlesnake species have been wiped out, eliminated from certain parts of the United States. And like Canada, we talked about the timber rattlesnake. But this is to mention a next point that, evolution works in ways that is advantageous and beneficial to an animal. So there's a random mutation. If that proves to be advantageous, it might persist, and then it's become selected for. And they claim, I haven't looked up studies, so I don't know if there's evidence supporting this, but it's claimed that rattlesnakes that are less likely to rattle are those that are reproducing, maturing, and having babies. So if that's the case, we might see in a few decades even, rattlesnakes that no longer rattle because of how it's backfiring on them, because people can hear where they are and kill them. And I hope that's the case, if that means that they can survive. But anyways, this is all over the place. Again, the editing takes forever. I have these little visions of how I want the video to be. I try to put it together and I end up spending days trying, and it's just a lot of hassle. But I don't want to keep uploading videos and still not get the last part of the rattlesnake video completed. So hope you enjoyed, and I'm sure I forgot a lot of things that I was hoping to mention, but we can talk about it in the comments. Subscribe if you're new. Love you all. Take care.